and the title of Mr. Olympia. His six-time Mr. Olympia, there it is!
Welcome back to Live with RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Olympia 2017, brought to you by Yamamoto Nutrition and Protan. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is all the way from Oxygen Gym in Kuwait, our good friend Brandon Curry.
Hey guys, what's going on, guys? I'm here on behalf of Generation Iron, just to show up and do this interview with you guys, man.
You got a lot of sponsors now on board. You got Oxygen Gym there in Kuwait. You got Generation Iron. You know, you're doing well for you. It's funny when you win shows, everyone wants a piece of you. Isn't that ironic? And then when you don't win shows, no one wants to know your number.
Yeah, you know, that's the name of the game. It's the business, man. You know as well as I do. You know, yeah. Don't forget SciTech Nutrition though.
Oh, right, SciTech Nutrition. Excuse me. Thank you. So you got a lot of sponsors on board backing you, which makes the trip that you took out to Kuwait Gym, Oxygen Gym there, in Kuwait, looked like a very smart business move for you, because a lot of people were saying Brandon's leaving his family, his kids, he's spending months upon months out at Oxygen Gym. It paid off for you. You won 2 pro shows in the beginning of the year in Australia and New Zealand. You go into the Olympia, you got new sponsors on board backing you. Life has got to feel pretty good for you, huh?
Yeah, you know, sometimes if you want something different, you got to do something different. You know, you got to make the sacrifices. And, you know, I was blessed enough to make these sacrifices and have some things to come out of it, and having it pay off right now.
Now, with the Olympia coming up and a lot of people talking about the all new and improved Brandon Curry, how are you feeling going into the event in the sense of where do you see yourself falling? You know, top 15, top 10, top 5, you know, in your mindset, what would you be happy with and what would you be unhappy with leaving Vegas with?
Well, the key for me is improving upon the last showing that I made in Australia, which I think we're going to do that pretty easily. Condition and everything is already where it needs to be, and improve upon that, as well as some more size. Probably like at least maybe 10 pounds heavier on stage than my last showing, which is good. I mean, originally, as discussed with my coach Abdullah, last year's, after prejudging at the Olympia before I even joined the team, you know, he was envisioning me to be at least top 6 in the world. So, you know, we're holding on to that vision and just trying to do the best we can and improve upon the last outing. I mean, nobody's ever seen me on stage compared to these guys the way I've looked in the beginning of the year. So this next package that I bring is going to be even more a significant change for the judges and all the competitors on stage in comparisons.
And the talk has been that Brandon Curry has the tool set to be a top 6 Olympian, and that's obviously the elite of the elite. So that's going to make you feel pretty good going into the show, where people are really believing in you. I think I can just tell from your personality and how much energy you have. You feel good about the way you look, obviously.
Yeah, I definitely feel good, man. I've been putting in the work all year, man. Been away from home since last November. And you know, I only been home like 2 months out of the year, so it's a lot of work put in, a lot of hard work, seeing the changes and seeing the fruits of my labor, man. And I'm really just excited to get on stage and just be a completely different package than last year when I was on stage. Yeah. I mean, that's a win enough, you know, going from dead last to who knows what this year. So it's going to be very exciting for me.
Now, we know bodybuilding to a certain degree is a slightly selfish sport, especially around contest time, because you have to really put all your energy into that. But you're not a typical guy, you know, who's a single bodybuilder and doesn't have a family. You have a wife, you have kids. Tell us, you know, how are you dealing with that? It's got to be very tough emotionally on you and the rest of your family to not be there, you know, for like you said, almost the better part of a year.
Well, you know, it's a lot different for us, you know, because they used to spending a lot of time with me, me always being around, so it's a lot different. but we've been able to develop this tight relationship connection through the previous years for me always being around. And then you got outlets like this, as I see you and you see me. It allows the kids and everybody to kind of see me face to face and talk every day. So I'm always on the phone with them, always communicating, always checking in and trying to help them troubleshoot with things that are going on, trying to keep up with the sports and the activities and whatnot. So it's kind of like being there without being there.
Yeah.
And I know that if everything goes right and I do what I need to do, then we'll all benefit in the long run. So it's not it's not just thinking about the short term. Being away, it's always about the long term benefit of what we're doing now. So.
You're a hands-on dad. I could tell you're the kind of guy that likes to go and play sports with the kids and stuff like that. You're not like one of these parents that's on the side, on the sidelines. You're doing stuff with your kids. I got to imagine that interaction, that physical interaction, has got to be something that you really miss, and I'm sure they miss it tremendously too. Because kids, I have a son now at 20 months old. Every month, it's like he develops something new and is doing something bold and crazy than he did before. And I would be emotionally heart torn to not be there for that.
My youngest is 3, so I understand the stage you're talking about, and I experienced that with it's my 4th time, but I experienced that with the 3 boys as well. And the daughter. So I've kind of experienced it, and I know the changes. So I know the questions to ask. I know the things to look for. I kind of know what I'm missing, in a sense. But I get to go back home here soon, and I get to catch the end of football season and then wrestling season coming up. So that's one of the reasons why I'm happy to get back home, because it's a lot of things that I get to involve myself with, a lot of things I get to see and spend a lot more time that I really will appreciate even more being back. So.
Now, how does your wife, Brandy, deal with, having to raise all the kids herself? I mean, that's got to also be an enormous responsibility on her plate as well. I mean, that's got to create a little bit of a strain for you guys, I'm sure.
Well, my hat goes off to her, man. She's definitely
Me too.
a super mom, man. She's dropping the boys off at one practice, driving to another practice, dropping another one off, going to get the other ones. I mean, she's definitely stepped up and made this thing a lot easier for everybody. And she's the real MVP. If you really want to give somebody that, she's the real MVP. So my hat goes off to her big time, man, and I owe her big time. So,
oh, you do.
But she does it out of love, man. She knows the vision, she knows the dream, she believes in me, and she believes in the mission. So it's always good to have a great woman and supporter behind you. You can never go wrong with that. So, like I said, I'm very lucky and very blessed in that way. And like I said, she's amazing, man. She's definitely amazing.
Yeah, I salute her as well, and believe me, she'll never let you forget this in the future. Believe me. 5-10 years from now, she'll remind you about this. Let's talk about Generation Iron, because you got the hat, you got the shirt on. What's going on with them? What's this big project you got going on?
Well, they do their documentary series that they're starting with different people, kind of stepping into the lives and getting inside the personal lives of bodybuilders. Kind of outside the bodybuilders themselves. So they'll be kind of, showing them what we're doing at the Olympia, showing family coming and me, kind of regrouping with the fam. And then, of course, they'll be home with me when trying to get my home life and get into the inside details of me being a dad and not necessarily wrapped up into just all bodybuilding. So
right.
You kind of get to maybe that personal side of me that a lot of people don't really get to see, and a lot of the things that I just love and I do every day with my kids and the time that we spend. So everybody can get a little step into my world. So that's what we're going to bring to you.
I think it's great when there are media outlets out there that are willing to pay the athletes and cover them and show another side of them. So I think what they're doing is really good, even though they won't mention me on their channel at all, or RXMuscle. I have no problem mentioning them, because I think when people do things that are good, I think that's good for our sport. It's good for everything else. How's it hanging with Chris Cormier out there? What's he been doing for you lately? Has he been working with your posing with you?
Well, yeah, Chris is really been an asset, when it comes to correcting my posing. He's a master at presenting presentation on stage. So we've really been doing that, been putting me through the ropes, helping me with my routine. We'll also be doing a little training with the gym. It's always good to have a different style of training. So yeah, he's been in the gym with me here and there, pushing me through workouts. And, he likes to really contract and squeeze and focus on different things. He's not always about the weight, but either way it goes, it's a humbling experience. It's a different stimulus, and it's always good for your development. So, yeah, Chris is definitely an asset out here to the team. And his different point of view, his different perspective is always something that you need when you have a team of guys out here that do things a certain way. It's always good to have somebody that has a different way of doing things a little bit.
I told Chris since he's moved out there and has been living out there, he's starting to look like a Middle Eastern guy. All of a sudden, he shaved his head. He's got the beard going. I said, pretty soon you're going to be wearing a turban and everything like that because
Chris is doing cardio every day.
He looks good, actually.
He's doing all kind of stuff. He's eating good, man. He's getting ready for the Olympia himself, man. He told Bader the other day he'll be posing for him by the time he leaves.
I was going to say that to you. I'm glad you brought up. Chris has probably never been healthier in his entire life because there's nothing bad to do there. All there is to do is train, eat, and sleep. And that's something Chris does very little of normally when he's back home. So,
right. So, yeah, he's definitely kind of got the lifestyle. Actually, if you follow his snaps, he's always a tagging Bader every time he's doing cardio in the morning and stuff. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. We might see a Cormier come back for all we know. We got Flex Wheeler and we got Hammond Lavroni coming back, so might as well bring everyone back. Let's talk about the post-Olympia because the big European tour is always very popular. I asked you before the show. You told me you're not doing any of the post-Olympia shows, including the Arnold Europe. What prompted that decision? Well, it was really like a team decision. We have to kind of prepare for next season. You gotta know when to shut it down. You gotta know when to push it. So we've kind of been at it all year. And, for a mental group and me to get back to some normality, I think it's a good decision for me to kind of, just shut it down at the Olympia and kind of just not worry about the aspects of competing and kind of focus on getting back to regular life as much as possible.
Right. Now, we didn't see you on the Arnold Classic USA stage last year. Is that the goal for this coming year?
Well, it definitely will be a possibility. We can't rule that out considering we're going to take this time to kind of regroup, maybe enough time for us to get ready for a show like that early in the year. So, we won't know what to commit to, what to do, and what the plan and strategy is until we get the results, so to speak, of this next event.
Well, Brandon, best of luck. I know you're going to be coming in a week early so you can adjust to the flight and all that stuff and the Vegas weather, although the weather's probably pretty similar out there in Kuwait right about now. Have a safe one. Looking forward to seeing you and the family, and I hope to see that top 6 out of you.
I appreciate it, Dave, man, and thank you for the support, man. Thanks for Generation Iron for allowing me to do the interview, and I'm sure, man, y'all be able to collab and do some things together in the future, man. With things like this coming together, man, you never know what happens. So,
you have some great support and some great promotion behind you, and I think you're going to do real good at the Olympia.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, and that'll take us to the end of another episode of Live with RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Olympia 2017, brought to you by Yamamoto Nutrition and Pro Tan. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.